up the garage doors in the front where visitors can come and actually step in there and watch it. So it's gonna be kind of interactive. Now, the left side where we're gonna leave that garage door, but we're gonna take that siding and replace the siding, is gonna become what's called as a classroom. So they're gonna offer even maybe some people that want to learn, or maybe introductory classes to learn how to learn some glass blowing.
Is it out of order to ask who they are?
Huh?
Is it out of order to ask who they
It's,
are?
the owner, Sam, the owner of the building, been working with people. I've met him a couple of times. I can't remember his name. He's got a studio in Mitchell County, and his daughter's a glass blower.
Oh, okay.
And what they want to do is just kind of tap into a lot of the glass blowers up at CeeLo, and, you know, we've got some world-renowned glass blowers around here. Bring in guests at different times too, and kind of be a interactive place for,
Very nice.
you know, cultural type thing.
Yeah.
They plan to freshen up. They don't want cars pulling all the way up to where the garage doors gonna be rolled up, so there's gonna be landscaping kind of in the front, maybe some gravel, and then maybe some, I don't know if they'll be planting bushes, but they're gonna be putting barrels with some trees and stuff around it. Kind of like we did at Home Place across the street. It's kind of trying to intermingle it to make it look fun then, you know.
Is there gonna be some designated parking for the glass blowing, or is that gonna be like around back? Because I know it gets pretty busy down there, you know?
It's probably gonna be mostly on the side right here.
Yeah, right, and then we've got the, you know, we have the farmer's market coming in, so is it just gonna be kind of a shared area?
I'd anticipate it. I would say it'd probably be a shared area over there.
Now, is there, it's not really a driveway to get to Stephen and that other house behind there. Does that play any relevance in this?
The property goes all the way up to the fence back there,
Okay,
okay? And the house in the back has a right-of-way coming in from the old National Guard Armory. Okay, so technically, that's the way they're supposed to be coming in.
okay.
But Sam has let them just pull in there and park for years. But they do have access to the house because they do have a right-of-way from the armory side there.
Okay.
Okay. Just a few other points that, as I was going through the design guidelines, there will be, the requirement with a studio is one space per 200 square foot of floor area. That's about 9 spaces or so on the property. I didn't know if they plan on having a commercial dumpster, and if so, they thought about where they might locate that, and whether, because we usually require screenage, you know, and those types of things.
Probably if they do, it'll be around on the back side.
On the back side, and that's what we, you know, it fits within the guidelines, and then, you know, having proper screenage for that and all that. The only other real considerations, and again, this is just my mock-up, but we do have the requirement in there about a street yard and sidewalks for these types of developments, and this is not, again, not an accurate drawing, this is just my representation, but something like that would be required of the property to have that type of development with this type of project. The street yard, according to our guidelines, has to be a 7 feet minimum and a 10-foot average, and then a normal size sidewalk. There's not currently sidewalk on that section that runs down Main Street in front of that building. And then those were some of the main considerations that I found going through these. If anyone has any additional questions or concerns?
So that will be repaved or reconcreted or redone?
A lot of the concrete will stay there, but they'll be probably putting some gravel and stuff down over it.
Okay.
It's got a good base up there. And of course, the landscaping will go kind of on top of the old concrete, right?
Okay.
And you said the current canopy area in the front, that's going to be glassed in for,
No, it's just gonna
Oh,
kind of stay as it is.
oh, just like it is, okay,
Yeah.
just to, okay.
Yeah.
So the gallery will be where the old office was.
Exactly, yeah. And then, you know, of course, on the front will be the front sidewalk right now. we'll be making an outswing door out of the door, it's an in-swing door for handicap accessibility. If you all can see that right here, and then we will be making, I haven't shown here, but I've got it noted that there'll be a handicap accessible ramp. You know, coming in the garage doors to where they'll have probably a chained off area here to watch, you know, they've got handicap accessibility, but we will provide a handicap accessibility into the gallery.
And there'll be some sort of retail component with a gallery, the artists be able to sell their stuff and that kind of thing.
Yep.
The property itself is zone C3. I don't know if I mentioned that previously, it was on the application. And again, this is our mixed use zoning district. So this will certainly be an appropriate use within that, and it fits within our permitted uses. So if there's, again, any additional questions, some of these things we'll have to have before we can do a complete zoning plans, we'll have to have a real site plan that shows these actual measurements rather than my mock-up that I've done. But with the time frame we had from Thursday to today, there wasn't enough time to get that together. So wanted to present this at this meeting in case you all felt like you had enough information to make a recommendation. If you feel like you need more, we can certainly, I think that was in some of the notes, we can schedule another meeting if you don't feel like you have enough information to make a recommendation one way or the other. But it seemed like this a good opportunity with the planning board meeting come this quickly to go ahead and get this on the agenda and get it before you guys.
Is there two entranceways off Main Street and one off Swiss? Is that what that's kind of showing here?
Well, again, this was so I don't know what his actual plans are for entryways and exits.
As far as the drive coming in, right now, I think there was no curb. I mean, you can come in two ways here, and then, of course, the Swiss way is always kind of an entryway in.
And then the crosswalks are gonna remain the same where they're at?
Yeah, I don't see any plans of changing the crosswalk.
I don't think there's a crosswalk on Swiss yet, but that was part of the plans that were approved
With the-
for the,
Right.
With the
for
farmer's
the
market.
farmer's market,
yeah.
as a crosswalk would go in there, so I assume that would hook
Mhm.
into the sidewalks that you'll be required to do. And it looks like there's a sidewalk going up Swiss, is that just your illustration, or are you?
That is actually, this is a weird property, because this section is actually owned by the farmer's market of this property. They
Ah,
actually own a small portion of that parcel.
isn't that interesting? Huh.
That's why that looks strange, but there is just a, I don't know exactly the width of that, but there's a width and a strip that goes up that's actually owned by the farmer's market. Or the
It's like-
Inscan.
I'm not sure exactly, I want to say around 10 feet.
That would sound about right. It seemed like I was thinking it was about the size of a parking space,
Yeah.
about a parking space.
Have you guys slated a idea for, date on, start date,
They're
construction?
wanting to try to have it ready by springtime.
Okay,
We've already gone in and just kind of took out the old car lifts and just done some interior demo of it, and haven't done anything on the exterior of it all.
I think it's a great project.
I'm just surprised that that's what it is, you know, I didn't even,
With the farmer's market and then
Yeah.
across the street and this right here, it's gonna be kind of making
The more the
a lot
merrier,
of fun stuff happen.
West
down there.
Main is booming.
it's a real change, I think.
a good change.
Any concerns?
I'll make a motion to approve. Anybody?
Do we want to approve pending the paperwork, the dumpster plan, the final
What you'll
parking
be making is a
plan?
motion to recommend the permit be approved.
Okay.
That's what you'll be actually making.
Okay. Anybody want a second?
I'm saying,
All in favor?
All right.
We make the motion.
All right.
Looks
And I'll get
good.
up with you about getting what else we need.
Give me the application, let me know, man.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you,
Do you want
guys.
to stick around for old time?
Did it for 7 years, you guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate everybody's doing it. Good time to do it.
Discussion about the planning workshop. Was that, you also gonna do that?
Which
or-
one of us
no?
is talking about that? Is that you?
Well, I can mention briefly the discussion that I talked to Cody a little bit earlier today about the potential for like a retreat. In-person options might start up again next year, and she's hopeful that that's something that we could get some members to participate in, to actually do a retreat training kind of thing.
Yeah.
More immersive kind of experience, and hopefully more, people would get more out of it.
And then, along with that, I'm currently taking the certified zoning officer training through the School of Government, and I'm getting my head filled with all kinds of knowledge about zoning and planning and those types of things. And we've hit on a few topics that I thought, even if the other doesn't work out, that we do a separate retreat, maybe even just with the next regular meeting we schedule 30 minutes or so to pick a topic that maybe has come up and educate. We may have some new members at that point in time, depending on,
I think me and Jerry are supposed to go off.
Switch off and stuff, so we may have some new members, so it might be a good opportunity to have a little bit of an educational experience to kind of get everybody on the same page, especially with some of these changes with 160D that happened last year and those types of things, that everybody's still figuring those things out. And our new zoning ordinance just went into effect in July, and there may be some other things in there that we need to go over. So just wanted to kind of put that out there, that it might be an opportunity at our next, even if the other doesn't work at a separate retreat, maybe at our next planning board meeting, doing something like that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking for myself, it's easier if I've got a date and then I can work that into my own schedule.
Okay.
Because that just works better for me. I don't know how it is for you guys,
Sure.
but.
Yeah, especially if you add just a little bit to short meetings anyway. You're already here.
Mhm.
Add 30 more minutes, still no long meeting. Okay.
So we'll work on that maybe, and have something, at least maybe an extra 15, 20-minute type educational thing with the next meeting, depending on what projects may come about between now and then, which I know of a few in the pipeline, but I don't know if they're actually gonna come to fruition before that meeting or not.
Okay. Sounds good. Before the next meeting, you do need to be thinking of my replacement and then whoever's on up replacement. So
Where are you going?
they tell me my time is done. I've been here longer than I realized. I asked, I was like, have I been here through like 2 terms? He's like, I think you've been here like 6 years. Oh, so.
She can become an alternate.
Yeah, we'll vote on it.
We'll think about that for a few months.
That was not an encouraging laugh.
No. All right, the next regular meeting will be January the 11th, unless something comes up before then.
Does,
Anybody
can
else?
I make does 6:15, that's a really weird time. Does 6:15 work for everybody? Would 6 work better? Would 5 work better? Would, I asked why we met at 6:15, and the answer I got was we always have.
No, it was because a small town Main Street used to meet before planning.
There's
That's what it was,
the
yeah.
answer.
And we
I
met
knew
on
there was an answer
Tuesdays
out there.
because one of the board members could only, I don't know, come on a Tuesday or something, is what I was told.
But I
So,
mean, it's just something to think about. I don't know, because 6:15 is just an odd one. I didn't know if that's fine, it's fine.
anybody have a preference?
Well, I've got